Hey guys! Now that the DLC, The Jaws of Hakon, and some preview pages for The World of Thetis Volume 2 have come out, I decided to make an addendum to my Fall of Arlathan theory video. The DLC and World of Thetis hasn't really changed anything in my theory, but rather added and kind of tweaked a few more pieces to the puzzle. I think the biggest revelation piece that we found in the DLC was the Gelderon's Claim Codex. You can obtain this codex by collecting all of the shards in the Frostback Basin and entering through a door in a little canyon near Razakali's Reach. It says, "The script is an ancient elven dialect. Upon further observation it twists, the words becoming visible. There are no gods, there is only the subject and the object, the actor and the acted upon. Those with will to earn dominance over others gain title not by nature but by deed. I am Gelderon, and I refuse those who will exert will upon me. Let Andril's bow crack, let June's fire grow cold, let them build temples and lure the faithful with promises. Their pride will consume them, and I, forgotten, will claim power of my own, apart from them until I strike in mastery." So we know from previous codexes found throughout all the games that Gelderon is one of the few forgotten ones whose name is known, so I guess he's not so forgotten. The codex, all the way from the beginning of DAO on Fen'Harel, states, "Only in dreams do we hear the whispered names of Gelderon and Darenthal and Daenerys, for they are the forgotten ones, the gods of terror and malice, spite and pestilence. In ancient times, only Fen'Harel could walk without fear among both our gods and the forgotten ones, for although he is kin to the gods of the people, the Forgotten Ones knew of his cunning ways and saw him as one of their own." Now, I didn't include the Forgotten Ones and their role in the Fall of Arlathan theory because I wasn't, and I'm still not quite sure what to think of them. I've heard a few different interpretations of what this codex actually means, but to me, we now get kind of a clearer picture of what at least one of them was. He basically says that the only power people have over others is not divinity, but just exerting power over them, which parallels to what Solus told us about the elven gods not actually being gods.
You don't even believe in the ancient elven gods.
I don't believe they were gods, no, but I believe that they existed. Something existed to start the legends. If not gods, then mages, or spirits, or something we've never seen.
I believe the elven gods existed, as did the old gods of Devinter, but I do not think any of them were gods, unless you expand the definition of the word to the point of absurdity.
Gelderon refuses to allow the creators, he mentions Andril and June specifically, to dominate him and hopes that they will fall due to their pride. So to me, he sounds basically like a revolutionary. Is that what the Forgotten Ones were? Were they all just insurgents revolting against the powers of Arlathan, who history has vilified for standing up against those who were revered? Is that why Fen'Harel, the god of rebellion, as we've recently learned in Inquisition, was welcomed among the Forgotten Ones? Was he some kind of double agent? I have a few new ideas on this, but it's enough to be a video in its own, so stay tuned for that. So now I'm getting this image, not just of a war between the so-called elven gods, but a revolutionary uprising, a slave rebellion, perhaps led by the Forgotten Ones. I had suggested in my previous Fall of Arlathan video that the Blight was used as a weapon, which I still believe could be true, even in this new scenario that's coming to mind. Similarly, there were two poems in the World of Thetis Volume 2 that seem to speak of a slave rebellion with the wolf involved. The first one is an Alamari poem, the ancient Ferelden humans, with huge parallels to an elven poem that the World of Thetis says was found in the Temple of Mathal. The human poem says, "When waked we walked where willows wail, whose withered windings wont wassail. We weary worn with whited wail were wavering with wanyon ward. When wishing waned we whiters ward, when wolfen wan we wastrels ward." The similar elven poem is translated to, "We, it, lost eternity or the ruined tree of the people. Time won't help when the land of dreams is no longer our journey. We tried to lead despite the eventual failing of our markings. To the inevitable and troubling freedom we are committed. When we could no longer believe, we lost glory to war. When wolf failed won, we lost the people to war." These two poems sound like they're basically discussing the same things, validating a lot of the speculation that I've already presented. First, these first lines of the elven poem. To me, this confirms for sure that it was the construction of the veil separating the land of dreams from them, and that made them lose eternity, or maybe their immortality. The next lines from both the human and elven poems discuss what I interpret to mean slaves, whited whale, and markings, or valisline. Could this be talking about slaves who are unable to handle their newfound freedom and unable to lead themselves? The next lines of both the poems talk about being unable to believe or wishing that went away, which to me sounds like their belief in their gods, unable to trust them or get protection from them anymore, thus leading to war. Both poems talk about the wolf, who, when finished, lost the people to even more war among themselves. This confirms, in my mind at least, that the Great Betrayal was a result of a slave rebellion, led by Fen'Harel, due to the elven gods basically not doing their duties in protecting the elves. When the gods were finally defeated, Fen'Harel tired, possibly to Uthenera, and the freed slaves wasted it, continuing to war among themselves. For as many of my speculations that I found validated in the DLC and World of Thedas, I also noticed that mine and most others' translations for what Solas's reply to the nightmare demon is was incorrect. I had theorized that Solas's reply, Banal Nadas, meant nothing is inevitable or nothing must be. However,
in the old tongue, your name Talanadas means nothing is inevitable. I will remember your name. And hope.
To me, this felt like a very purposeful insert by the devs who are laughing at us to show us that nothing is inevitable means something else in Elven. While I could spend all day trying to translate what little more Elven we have been given in the World of Thedas Volume 2 and try to apply it, I think it's much more likely that though we can understand the general gist of what he's saying, it's the context that's way more important, thus leaving the direct translation a mystery. But let's be honest, one day I probably will end up trying to translate it. The next thing that stood out to me from the DLC was the very blatant mention of Gillenane. The writers made it very clear that they wanted us to remember her name. They made a big ol' to-do about it.
But this is Elven. One of their gods. What was it? Every mother finds Druffalo among sleeping juniper groves. G something. The one with the deer.
What was that? Every mother finds Druffalo.
Oh, it's a memory aid to help me with the names of the elven gods. Every is Elgernan. Mother is Mithal. Finds is Fallow something. I was more focused on early Chantry history. Didn't really do elves.
Are you sure that your memory aid caught all the elven gods?
Well, there's only one F for Falondine. Oh, I suppose I forgot Fen'Harel.
Most people do.
This isn't him, though. It's one of the ladies, obviously. G something.
That would be Gillenane, mother of the Hala.
Yes! Brilliant, thank you. Oh, that would have bothered me all day.
Why would they do this? When they made a big deal about her, I got really excited. This just adds more to my suspicion from the Fall of Arlathan video that Gillenane was definitely up to something. Something is fishy about her. They want us to remember her because she's going to be important in the future. I could just feel it. There were many more codexes and revelations from the DLC that stood out to me, as well as the teaser for the World of Thedas that I still need to read. All this new information got my crazy tinfoil wheels turning. I will be making more theory videos with this new information included, but I just wanted to add this new information to the Fall of Arlathan theory. What stood out from the DLC or the World of Thedas to you guys?